Hello everyone, I just want to welcome you to this semester's CHEM110 class. I will be your professor. My name is Emily Thomas. You can call me Professor Thomas anytime you see me. And so this video is just to kind of get you prepared, kind of thinking about the way the semester is going to go. I'll continue to upload content throughout this first week for you to work on, and I'll make sure to post announcements throughout the week as I continue to post more information for you. So first things first, I'd like to tell you just a little bit about myself so you'll get to know me a little bit. When I see you for the first time in lab together, I'll get the chance to know you a little bit more. So that being said, I'm from the area here in the Quad Cities. I went to United Township High School, go Panthers. Once I graduated from there, I went to Western Illinois University in Macomb. So if you got any questions about Western, I got you. It's super transferable from Blackhawk to Western. I even took classes at Blackhawk when I was working on my undergraduate degree. So, it's like home being back here teaching at Blackhawk. Once I finished at Western I was a triple major in chemistry, math, and French. Don't be a triple major, bad idea. After I finished there with my degree, I moved on to Michigan State University, where I spent a couple of years doing some research in theoretical physical chemistry about some of the math behind why chemistry works. And then I also did some research in some chemistry education techniques, so better ways for us to present information as instructors. I started teaching at the college level while I was still at Michigan State. This will actually be my 5th year, yikes, teaching at the college level. I taught again at Michigan State. I taught a semester at Olivet College up in Michigan, if you've ever heard of them. And I've been teaching here now for 2 semesters at Blackhawk. This is my 2nd semester. I'm so excited. So I'm a little new to Blackhawk. I'm still kind of feeling things out, but I'm not new to the game. I've been doing this college teaching thing for a while. So that being said, that's just a little bit about me. And so for the rest of the video, I'm going to share a little bit about my teaching philosophy. I am going to show you Canvas, and we're going to talk a little bit about the syllabus and what you need to do to prepare for the semester. So follow along. Okay, so to tell you just a little bit more about my teaching philosophy, I just want to let you know we're all in this together. Sorry, you got to deal with my cheesy jokes all semester. They go in my video lectures too, so welcome to the party. Have a good chuckle, laugh at me or with me, I don't care which. So what I want to let you know is that your victories are my victories are yours. Same thing with losses. Like when you feel like you've lost, I've felt like I've lost too. I understand when you get frustrated, and I just really want the best for all of you. So I know that chemistry is intimidating and hard. You, I'm sure, already are coming in with impressions and know that too. But it's not my job to make your life harder than it has to be. I don't want to make it harder, because the harder I make your lives, the harder I make my own life. That's not what we're here for. So what I ask for you guys to do is to take a step back and kind of let go of those, oh my gosh, chemistry is going to be the hardest subject I take this semester thoughts, because I promise you, we are starting from square zero. We are going to go step by step by step by step together to learn these things. So as long as we keep moving forward together as a team, I think we can do this. We're going to make it. I have every bit of confidence. However, if you let some of those thoughts get in your way that chemistry is too hard, you'll never understand it, you won't. Because if you think you can't, you won't. But if you think you can, you will. So that's what I ask of you from the start of the semester, is to let some of those preconceived notions about how hard this class might be go, so that we can start from square one together, and I'll build you up. We're starting from the absolute bottom. You don't have to know anything about chemistry to take this class. So, however, I do want to say that while we are a team, while we do work together, and I will be your guide through this semester, you only really get out of this class what you put into it. So if you don't meet me halfway, you don't put in your best foot forward, you don't ask the questions, you don't come to me for help, we're going to get nowhere. So I can't really do that. I can't walk the whole distance for you. I got to have you meet me halfway. So I just want you to keep that in mind as we continue to think about things and get ready to prepare ourselves and get ourselves in that chemistry mindset from the beginning of the semester. Sorry, got to fix my hair now. So that's what I ask of you here at the beginning of the semester, is to kind of let some of those preconceived notions go and to let yourself fall into the love of chemistry, because I'll do my best to make it fun. I'll do my best to make it as easy as possible. Promise. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, kind of introducing you to this course, is talk a little bit about the format of the course. And I want to show you what Canvas looks like to represent that format of the course. So you are taking an online asynchronous course in the blended format. This is what Blackhawk has chosen to call all of these different courses. So what that means is I don't expect you to attend a lecture at a specific time. You will have all of your content for that posted in Canvas. However, you do have to attend labs on certain dates in person, on campus, face-to-face, with me in the lab doing experiments. So that's kind of how this is going to work. Okay, so every week as we get started here, I will update your front page. So what you need to make sure you do every single time you want to log into the class is triple check the front page, see if you see anything different. So I'll always have the most recent announcements at the top here, so maybe you didn't see something, maybe you missed it. You'll be able to know that you may have missed something by checking out those first announcements up here at the top. Usually it'll show 3, but I haven't posted 3 yet, so there's only 2 here right now, but eventually you'll just start to see the last 3 announcements I posted. Each week, what I'll do is I will update this front page. So I don't have an updated front page for you just quite yet for this week. I'm still kind of working through how some of the pieces are going to fit together. However, each Monday, you'll see me post something to this front page, and then I'll send you an announcement letting you know I've updated the front page. So to access this front page, what you should do is if you log into a web browser, it should just be the first thing you see when you click on this course. However, if you're using the mobile app, like if you have the Canvas actual app on your phone or your tablet or what have you, what's going to happen is sometimes it pops up a little thing that says like front page or home page at the top. So you should click that. It'll take you to the front page here. And that'll be your best place to access information. It'll have information like what we're doing this week, what's going to be due this week, what we're doing for lab, and that kind of stuff. So this is going to be your like main hub, main place you got to check out to know what you got going on. So for right now, it has some information about the textbook. So I really want to make sure within the next week, 2 weeks, you have your textbook in hand. If for some reason you cannot get that textbook within the next 2 weeks, please contact me, because we're going to be doing a ton of reading from the textbook throughout the semester, but some of the foundational things are very, very important to understand from the start. So I want to make sure that you're working on getting that textbook in your hands. But again, if you can't get it in your hands and you're working on it, let me know, and I'll see what we can do in that scenario, okay? I don't care whether you have a digital version of the textbook. I don't care if you buy it online. I don't care if you buy an older edition. I will just be telling you chapters and sections that we will be reading. You're just responsible for figuring out those chapters and sections that like I'm going to post from the 6th edition of Introductory Chemistry by Tro. So again, I'll just tell you the chapter name and then the section name and number, and then that'll be what you're expected to read. It's probably easiest to get the 6th edition. I think it's easiest to buy a print version where you can kind of look to the side while you're maybe doing something on your computer screen. But that's up to you guys, how you want to do it, how you want to purchase it. But I will be personally working from the 6th edition, and I will assume that most of you have the 6th edition as well. The other big thing that you need to have is the lab manual. So this is a paper printed lab manual. that you can purchase at the bookstore. This probably has to be purchased at the bookstore because it's published by Blackhawk College. It's like a workbook style lab manual where it has some assignments in it that you can fill out by hand. It's got the steps to all the experiments in it. It tells you about the hazards of some of the chemicals we'll be working with. And I do want to mention that we will be using the lab manual next week in our very first lab meeting for sure. So please, please, please make sure you have that before we meet for lab next week on Friday, September 3rd, because we will be doing an assignment from there, and I will expect that you will have that in your hands by then. If there's an issue, please contact me and I will see what we can do. But it's extremely important you have this lab manual in your hands from the start. Really quickly, as I alluded to, as I mentioned there, we will not be meeting for lab this very first week. We will meet in person the following week. So we will not have lab on Friday, August 22nd or 27th, excuse me. We will not have lab Friday, August 27th. Our very first time we meet for lab will be Friday, September 3rd. And just as a note, we won't be meeting in our usual lab room. We'll be meeting in Building 2, Room 105. That way we can all meet together. We'll have lots of space to spread out. And because we're not actually going to be doing any experiments with any chemicals, it gives you a space to sit down and kind of relax instead of having to stand up in the lab while we're working on some paperwork. So that's kind of what we got going on. So I don't expect to see you in lab this week, but I will see you in lab next week. And one last quick little housekeeping thing here before I move on to show you a bit more of Canvas is that I will often use the announcement function here in Canvas. I'm not saying I'm going to spam you with announcements because all of my announcements are important. I don't post announcements if I don't think it's important. However, I send a ton of announcements because I want you to feel that you are informed in this class, especially since we won't be seeing each other for the content/lecture portion of the class. We'll only be seeing each other face-to-face for the lab portion. It is so extremely important you make sure you turn on either your email notifications for announcements in this course, or you download the Canvas app that I mentioned before to your phone and you turn those notifications on so you're receiving them to your phone. I will always be constantly updating things. I don't like to leave you guys hanging. So just be cautious of that and make sure you're getting the announcements. If you cannot see the last two announcements I posted, or you didn't get any notification about them at all and maybe you had your notifications on, please be absolutely certain that you contact ITS Help now, because I've warned you, I'm telling you, it's all coming through announcements. So no ifs, ands, or buts later in the semester saying, they didn't work. Well, they've been working all semester. So make sure you're keeping an eye out for that and you're triple checking that you're getting all the notifications you expect. Again, all of your content will just be posted to Canvas, and we will meet in person for lab on Fridays from 11 to 12:50. And again, that first lab section is in a different place. It's in Building 2, Room 105. However, after that, we will be meeting in Room 216 most of the time. So this is Canvas. This is, again, how it will generally look. You can always access all of the announcements I post by clicking this announcements tab at the side here, and you can go back and maybe read anything you missed. They'll stay up for the whole semester. And a lot of times I'll be linking to the module section of the course. So for right now, these are the things I have posted for you. You can click through, see the syllabus. You can check out my office hours. You can see a bit of the course description and the college's information that they'd love to give you, as well as a lecture schedule and a lab schedule. So go ahead, make sure you're clicking through, checking those things out, getting yourself informed about how things are going to work this semester. I'll always have a link at the top posted to my YouTube channel All of the lectures that I record for you, we don't really have a lot of space to save things on Canvas, so I put them up on YouTube so you can access anything at any point in time that you might like to see from my YouTube channel directly. However, in the individual modules, like here for like Chapter 1, for example, I will put the link to the video lecture that I expect you to watch for that specific chapter. I just like you guys to have access to the whole channel anyways, in case the link's broken, I don't know, something weird happens, I don't know. I just figured you deserved the link. So, throughout the semester, you'll see all the different chapter modules appear here. So you can see that our first chapter is called Chapter 1, The Chemical World. And I do have the lecture slides uploaded as a PDF right now. When there's homework, there'll be homework posted in the chapter module. And when there is anything I need you to do, anything going on, I'll tell you what's going on the front page, and I'll make sure I link it in that chapter module as well. Okay, so that'll be the kind of stuff you can find in the module section. When I start to add the lab information to the modules, you'll be able to see it there as well. If you want to go ahead and click through the Chapter 1 slides before I even upload the lecture video for you, feel free. But they're there if you want to check them out, and you'll start to see, again, things appear throughout the semester in this modules tab if you're interested in checking things out that way. But again, I'll always be going to that front page and uploading all of the information you need and links to the modules on that front page as well. So if we scroll back up here, eventually you'll find all of your assignments in the Assignments tab. I don't have any assignments posted for you quite yet, but you'll be able to find them there. It'll tell you what's upcoming, it'll tell you what's due, and it'll tell you what you've already done as well. So that'll be there for you as soon as we start to get stuff uploaded. As of right now, I think I'm looking at just a participation kind of practice quiz and practice lab assignment this week. But again, I'll let you know as soon as I kind of see where I am at with that. Just kind of holding off, seeing what some of the stuff's going on with the lecture classes too. But our main beef here is the syllabus. This is our little syllabus video. You don't really get syllabus day, quote unquote, if you've heard of that before, where you go to the first lecture, it's all syllabus. At Western, we always called it syllabus week, but as a chemistry and math major, I never had syllabus week. I always got to the first day and it was like, here's your homework. And I'm like, thumbs up. Great job. But it's kind of notorious. So let's talk a little bit about the syllabus here. So if you go to the syllabus tab, you can access the syllabus this way. It's got the syllabus, a lecture schedule, and a lab schedule posted. So we'll go ahead and click into that syllabus. You can find all of the main information for the course you need here. If you've got questions, this is a great resource to look into first. Of course, you can always ask me, but don't be offended if I say it's in the syllabus. Go check it out because I happen to know it's there and I know you have access to that. So go ahead, check that out. Again, my name is Emily Thomas. You can call me Professor Thomas. I do have a bhc.edu email address. However, I would really prefer it if you contacted me through the Canvas inbox. It kind of helps me keep all of my students' emails corralled away from I have things to do for the chemistry, the chemistry division and the natural sciences and engineering department. It kind of helps me keep those just a little bit separate from each other. I may lose your email if it comes into my BHC inbox. So if you inbox me through Canvas, that is going to be the best way to get a hold of me. So I do have my office phone number listed here as well. However, I will point out, it only rings in my office. It doesn't ring my cell phone. It doesn't ring anything else. If you're calling it and I don't answer, I might not be in my office. I might be having another sort of meeting. I might be doing something else. So just because you call me doesn't mean I'm going to automatically pick up. And honestly, if you had to pick a worst way to contact me, it's probably by phone. Okay, so you're going to get a hold of me so much faster, and you'll be able to hear from me better if you inbox me through Canvas first and foremost. But if that's not working, you can email me at that bhc.edu email address. If you're ever looking for me, you need to find me, or you need to come to office hours. My office is in building 2 in room 252. So if you enter building 2, if you've never been in there before, what it kind of looks like is a big square, a big rectangle. I should be more precise. It's a big rectangle. And the big rectangle has classrooms on the outside, but it has kind of a chunk, like an island in the middle, and that's where all the faculty offices are going to be. So you can find me in the first hallway at the end there. That is where my office is. You can see that we have all of our names listed where our offices are on the outside of those like kind of hallways as well. So if you're looking for me, you can find me there. However, office hours are going to be the best time to find me in my office. So my office hours, if you need to contact me, you want to see what's going on, you've got questions about class, you want to just chit chat, I don't mind as long as no one else is asking questions. Office hours for me are going to be Monday from 11 a.m. to 11:50 a.m., Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10:50 a.m., and Thursday afternoons from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. So you can kind of find me around those times in my office. Those are times where I have set aside fully to sit and answer your questions. It's not time for me to do work. Anytime anyone walks in my office, everything gets dropped immediately during office hours, and I will be there to answer your questions. So that's the time to come find me in my office and bother me. If you happen to knock on my door and it's not in these times, I may ask you to politely wait and come back during office hours. If I have something else that I'm working on imminently for maybe another section, another class, something like that, it's not because I don't like you. I promise you, I love all my students, but it's just more of a, these are the appropriate times to contact me for help. And if you need help outside of these, we can always find another time to meet where it works best for both of us as well. So if you can't come to office hours, please inbox me through Canvas. We'll set up a time. We can either meet face-to-face or we can set up a Zoom meeting where we could meet as well. That's kind of what you can expect there. So I do have those office hours posted in the course information module as well. So if you go back to the modules, you can see that the syllabus is linked here, as well as that lecture schedule and that lab schedule. But you also have a really quick link to my office hours here. It has the same office hours posted. It reminds you that my office is in building 2 in room 252. And so it does give you a little bit of an idea about what I would kind of expect in office hours. So it's a great time to ask questions about the content. If you miss a class for any reason, it kind of applies a little bit more to the classes that have lectures that people have to attend in person. You guys don't have that. But it's a good time to ask any questions you have about the content in class. You might want some extra practice or some extra examples of some topics you're shaky on. I can do that. I can even come up with harder ones to challenge you with too. It could also be a time where, let's say, you kind of got a study group together. Your study group had some questions. If you all come to office hours sometime too, or maybe if you come into my office hours and there are other students, don't be shy. Come sit, because what we're going to be able to do then is maybe someone will ask a question you didn't realize you had. Maybe someone will help clear something up. Or sometimes even two, students can talk to each other in a way that an instructor just can't reach that level of, where I do my best to make things simple, but maybe someone else will just say it in a different way and it unlocks the world for you. So it's always good if there are lots of people around, so don't be shy about coming to office hours, and definitely don't be shy if you see other people too. So that's kind of what you can expect. And two, maybe before an exam or something like that, you want to come in, get some extra practice with those topics. I can help come up with some extra problems. Make sure you're really, really solid on the things in the study guides before we get to that exam. We can work through that kind of stuff too. So that would be awesome. Like a couple of quick things I just want to remind you about office hours is like if you come to office hours, I'm not going to give you an entire lecture. So those videos are the best way to get the full summary of the content. It's better to come prepared having watched the video with specific questions. Again, I'm not going to sit there and give you an hour and a half long lecture over the topics. And office hours also aren't a great time to discuss your grade or, how you're doing in the course or something like that. If there is anyone else in my office or something like that, it is actually literally federal law that I cannot discuss your grades in front of anyone else. So if you come into my office and there are other students there, you may not be able to have that discussion. This would be a great thing to inbox me on Canvas about, and we'll set up a separate time where I can talk to you about your grades and stuff like that. Again, it's federal law. I cannot discuss your grade or anything like that in front of anyone else. I know you may not care, but again, if I'm going to break federal law, it's going to be for something way cooler than discussing your grade in front of someone else. Let me tell you, come on. Just kidding. I'm not trying to break federal law at all. So that's kind of the idea there. So don't be offended again, too, if I'm like, hey, we can't talk about this right now, but can we talk another time? I'll always see if there's a better time where we can meet together, where we can have a discussion about something like that. So that's just a quick aside about office hours. So again, if you need to access that, you can find my office hours with a quick click in that course information module, but they are also listed here at the top of the syllabus. So again, we don't have actual lecture meeting times. All of the online content in Canvas serves as your lecture, but I do expect you to attend the appropriate in-person lab sections from Friday or on Fridays from 11 a.m. to 12:50. So when we meet Friday, September 3rd, we'll talk about this a little bit more. That'll be like our real lab introduction. But there'll be certain weeks where I'm only expecting half the class to attend. Sometimes we'll have some video labs. Sometimes we'll have a get-together where we're all getting together. I haven't figured out if those are going to be in classrooms, if there's space because COVID. Because there's not enough space to fit all of us in the lab itself all at once, or if those will be like an online synchronous Canvas meeting kind of a deal like Zoom. So I'm kind of tossing around those ideas, but again, once we come to lab on Friday, I will have all of the information you need about when you will need to be in person completing your lab work with me. So just a heads up there. And remember, our first lab meeting is in room 105, not in room 216. And then after that, we'll often be meeting in room 216. So you can find a course description and outline here on Canvas. So these are kind of the main things I expect you to get out of this class. Keep these in mind. And when I'm grading, these are also what I'm keeping in mind often. We'll cover more information than what's required, as this is an introduction to chemistry, but these are the core things you have to leave my class with. So when you leave my class, I am certifying that you know all 6 of these bullet points here and you can rattle them off like the back of your hand. So that's kind of what I'm keeping in mind. So I can't let you move on if you don't have these things down pat. And the thing is, too, is I don't want to send you on to the next chemistry instructor and then get that on my door from the other professors that say, Emily, what the heck are you doing? Your students don't know anything. So I have to make sure that you're kind of like certified, that you know these things. And 2, I don't want to send you off into, let's say, nursing, for example, and have you give me the wrong amount of a medicine and do something bad to me because I let you move on without certifying that you knew some of these things. So when you're passing my class, these are the things I expect you to know like the back of your hand by the end of the semester. So those are kind of going to be our main guiding principles, but they're going to be all hidden underneath all of these different topics, all of these lovely chemistry subjects that we'll work through this semester. There's a little bit more information here under general information about how an asynchronous course works, some of the things you might want to do as well. Here is our lab manual and our textbook again. We talked about those at the beginning of the video. No need to rehash that. However, I do want to point out that you will need a scientific calculator. So you're not going to be able to use your phone on exams. I will give you a calculator in Canvas. We'll be taking online exams. I'll give you a calculator in Canvas, but by the end of the semester, you do need a scientific calculator to be able to use outside of that. Some of the ones you can find are listed here. Buy the cheapest one you think you'll need. If you don't need to go further with your scientific calculator, buy the cheapest one. And the thing is what a scientific calculator is I need you to have something with the logarithmic function. So log, log, you should be able to see that on the front of the calculator as an option to select. And that's what indicates that it's going to be a scientific calculator. Especially too, because you are an online asynchronous class, you absolutely need to have a reliable access to the internet. Blackhawk College does have technology guidelines that can point you in the direction if you're looking to maybe buy a new computer, upgrade, something like that. But you have got to have reliable access to a computer with internet access, or you're not going to be successful in this course. So shoot me an inbox on Canvas. And I'll see what I can't work out for you there, see if we can't figure something out with the school. But again, I absolutely have to have you having reliable internet access. It sucks. I'm hotspotting off my phone right now as we're recording this video because my internet currently isn't working and hasn't been reliable, but I've got a secondary backup by being able to hotspot from my phone. You can buy personal hotspots as well. You can buy minutes for those as well. But you definitely have to be sure that you've got it figured out how you're going to access the internet. You can always come to campus as well. I know they're like doing some renovations on the library, but once the library's open, you'll have a plethora of space where you can hang out, do all your work there as well if you need to. So just an idea. So you don't have a lecture to attend. You just need to keep up with the content in the class. However, I have certain class periods that I do expect you to attend for the in-person lab component. So if you think it's going to be an issue starting at the beginning of the semester that you can't attend the lab at all, you need to contact me because I don't think you're going to be able to take this course this semester, okay? So when you're coming to lab, you have got to be sure that you arrive on time and you're ready to work when you get there. And I would just like to point out that if you miss more, so if you miss 2 or more in-person lab experiments, so those in-person experimental labs, as long as you come to lab on Friday, you'll understand exactly what I mean. But you'll need to take an incomplete in the course or receive an F for the final course grade. And this is just because you have to have these physical skills with your hands when you leave my class, and you have to have experience with them, and there's no other way to get that than actually physically coming into my lab and doing that. So I just want to let you know, keep that in mind. You're not going to be able to miss more than one of the in-person experimental labs. So we'll talk about what that means, but I just am giving you a heads up now. If you think there's going to be an issue, please contact me right away. Quick note about dropping the course. I am not going to check up, see how much work you specifically are doing. I actually do all of my grading anonymously, and I shut it off so I can't see any of your names when I'm looking through your assignments. So I am not going to automatically withdraw any students from this class who stop attending class, stop turning in work. It's not my job to do that. It's your responsibility to choose to drop a class that you're not going to continue to take. So there is a withdrawal deadline. You can find that in the academic calendar for Blackhawk College. And as long as you withdraw before that deadline, you do not need my permission. I don't mind. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I understand that you can start taking a class, you can get overwhelmed. I've dropped classes because I got overwhelmed some semesters and I needed to wait just a bit longer until my schedule was in a better place, maybe a bit easier. Maybe I was taking one less class a semester or something like that. where I could fit in something maybe a bit tougher or maybe challenging for me as a student. So you're not going to hurt my feelings. I'm going to miss you as a student, but I understand that sometimes it's just not the right time to take a class. So if you withdraw before that deadline, no big deal. I don't have a problem. Please contact your academic advisor first, though. It may have something to do with financial aid, and I don't know how many hours you need to be taking or anything like that. I'm not a part of that. But if you need to drop the course, drop the course. There is also a deadline. Once you reach that deadline, that's with no instructor signature. And then after that point, up until I think the Sunday before final starts, you can withdraw with an instructor signature. I'll let you withdraw. If you need to withdraw, you just got to inbox me. I'll send you the confirmation that you're more than welcome to withdraw if that's the case. So if you don't formally withdraw through the registrar, you might receive an F in the course, or you're basically going to get a grade based upon the points you've received in the semester. So please be aware of that. Please be cautious. If you need to drop the course, just talk to me about it and we'll get it taken care of. All right, enough about that. Makes me sad. The grading scale is the very typical Blackhawk scale. So A is a 90 plus, B is an 80 to a 90, C is a 70 to an 80, so on and so forth. So I may change those percentages, but I'll always make them easier for you to achieve. I'll never make them harder. So for example, an A could never become a 93 to get an A at this point. A 90 is going to be that mark we're shooting for. However, if I look at things and I think that it would benefit the class, or I think that judging by the grade scheme and how things have separated out, when I look at everybody's grades across all of my sections, if I think somehow something's gone on, maybe I would take an A from a 90 to an 88. So it would always be easier for you to achieve, never harder. So I don't anticipate this becoming an issue, but if you... I really hope that you choose to study really hard for your exams and get great grades on your exams. I don't tend to enforce this clause, but I put it in here just in case I might need to. So you really need to make sure you get at least a 60% average on your exams to pass the class, okay? So make sure you're getting that 60% average, or you may receive a lower grade than what you expect. I calculate grades using a weighted grading scale. So we'll have 4 exams throughout the semester. I'll take the best 3 of your exams. So we'll talk about that in a minute, but I'll take the best 3 of your 4 exams. So it's like dropping an exam. And that'll count towards 65% of your grade. For lab, as a total counts as 20% of your grade, but that breaks down into 6% for pre-lab and post-lab, and 8% for the data and calculations portion. There's more data and calculations. You do a lot more work for it, so I'm trying to weight you a little bit heavier to reward you for your work there. And homework and all participation will be a 15% of your grade. So if you ever want to calculate your grade, you can find an example grade calculation posted on Canvas by going to that modules tab, going to the course information module, and I have the example grade calculation with some pretend grades and everything there. So that information's there for you if you want to check it out. But let's go back to the syllabus and keep it talking. All right. Okay, so last little bit of a marathon here. Let's talk a little bit about the assignments you can expect to have in this class. So we'll have 4 unit exams. I'm going to give them, again, about 4 chapters worth of material. I'm trying to work in when that first exam is going to be, because I think it's going to cover closer to 5 chapters of material, which means some of the later exams might cover only 3 chapters worth of material. But each exam will be 60 minutes. I will make sure you know more than a week before the exam will be given. Again, I'm trying to work out when exactly I can fit those in better. You'll know towards the beginning of the semester here when all of your exams this semester will be. I just don't have an exact date because I'm trying to piece together the schedule in terms of like literal days at this point. I know what we're doing this semester, but got to figure out what day we're doing it. Exams will be 60 minutes. You'll know way ahead of time when your exams are going to be. There'll be 4 exams, and again, we're taking the best 3 of 4 exams. All of the exams will be given on Canvas. You will either need to use that Respondus lockdown browser where it'll kind of like track you while you're taking the exam, where it kind of locks you in so you can't be doing a ton of searching or anything like that on your computer. I will give you an opportunity to be proctored by me, where if you want to come into the classroom, bring your computer, you can sit with me and I will watch you. That'll keep you from having to use that Respondus lockdown browser. And then thing 3, you could also always go to the testing center and take it there, and you're not required to use that lockdown browser there either. So I know sometimes it can be kind of scary to be like filmed on your exams, but I'm going to give you plenty of opportunities not to have to do that if you really, really don't need to. Homework assignments, they're intended to prepare you for the exams, so you should work really hard on them. Make sure you're taking your time with them. And make sure you're keeping up with all the announcements in Canvas. You're looking at those deadlines so that you can keep up with it. So homework will be given weekly to supplement the chapters, supplement that reading in the textbook, gives you an opportunity to practice before the exams. And I will drop the lowest homework score. So I drop the lowest exam, I drop the lowest homework score. And I will also, when we get to talking about lab, I'm not going to get into it today, in the pre-lab, data and calculations, and post-lab sections, I will drop the lowest score of each of those as well. But I am going to make sure that you will also have a bit of participation as well. For example, we're going to do some practice assignments coming up here so you can get familiar with the tools in Canvas before you actually like have something worth high stakes. So you might find some participation assignments throughout the semester as well. We do have 24-hour tutoring available. I will do my best to answer your emails, your inboxes on Canvas, as fast as I can, but unfortunately, I have to sleep. I know, crazy, wild, tell me about it. But I may not be getting to your questions, but we do have 24/7 tutoring online. So here's some information about tutoring here. So you might want to check that out. The last little bit that I think we should talk about is the lecture schedule, and we'll look at the lab schedule, but again, we'll talk about that next Friday when we meet for that. So the way the semester is going to work is we're going to kind of talk about matter and atoms, kind of what the basic building blocks of the universe are. And once we've kind of finished that material, we'll have exam 1. Again, I'll announce your exam dates as soon as I know. It'll probably be sometime this week or next week that I announce those dates for you. In Unit 2, we're going to talk about molecules and then therefore chemical reactions. So we'll learn how to name molecules. We'll learn about how they kind of come together, and we'll learn about how we can predict the shape of a molecule depending upon some of the bonding features there. I like that chapter a lot. Actually, I really like electrons and atoms in the periodic table. That's one of my favorite chapters. Anyways, I'm not biased. I'm not biased in these chapters. No, so this will be kind of our middle section here. And then in Unit 3, we'll talk about gases, solutions, and a specific kind of gas and or solution, acids and bases. So that'll give us a bit more information here about gases, gas laws, how those work together. We'll do a lab this semester, hopefully with some balloons, thinking about volume and temperature of a gas. We'll talk about solutions, so how we measure how strong a solution is, how many molecules or atoms, we'll talk about those words too, are in an amount of liquid or something like that. And we'll also talk about acids and bases. So you may know that like lemon juice is an acid and things that are sour are acids. And bases are really, really good cleaners. A lot of the stuff you have in your house, like bleach, is a base. So we'll talk a little bit about acids and bases, how you come into contact with them in every day of your life. In your everyday life. You probably do come into contact with them every day of your life, though, so maybe I didn't misspeak. And the last thing we'll do this semester is we'll kind of take a little bit of a tour through chemistry. So I'm still deciding if we're going to do oxidation reduction chemistry. Like I said, there's a little bit of a fuzziness in the schedule there. But we'll talk a bit about organic chemistry. Don't be scared. We're not going to make it as hard as my organic classes were. But we'll kind of talk about, those are some more of the molecules of life. Things you smell tend to be organic molecules. Things that are like in your body tend to be organic molecules. Plastics are organic molecules. So there are lots of different things that we consider to be organic. So we'll get there. We'll talk about it. And my absolute favorite chapter comes last. And we'll talk about radioactivity and nuclear chemistry and gamma rays like the Hulk and nuclear reactors and all of the different wild things that we've kind of come up with when we actually think about the chemistry of an individual atom. It's beautiful. Can you tell which kind of chemistry I studied in graduate school? It was nuclear chemistry. All right, so that's what we're going to be learning this semester. I hope you're looking forward to it. I am so looking forward to it. These are my favorite topics to cover. I love teaching introductory chemistry. We'll talk more again about that lab schedule just as soon as we meet on Friday, September 3rd. So we will not meet for lab this week, but we will all be meeting together on September 3rd for our very first lab. Remember, you got to have that lab manual. And then we'll talk about all of these different meetings, what all of these different things mean as soon as we get further into the semester. So you can check it out, see what labs we're going to do there. And all of those different things. All right, we got to talk about the uncomfy part of this. Let's talk about academic dishonesty. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. I really, really hope you guys understand what cheating is and you're just not going to do it, okay? The second you start cheating, the second I'll start to catch you and I'll have to look harder for it. The second you just are honest with me, then our lives are both easier, okay? Don't make my life harder. It's not going to be good. So, just a joke. But please, 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 please be honest when you're turning in your work. So please make sure you're doing all of your exams by yourself. You're not using any technology that's banned. You're not helping others to cheat. You're not sending someone an assignment, a picture of your work so that they can copy it. I notice. I can tell. Please don't. Please just don't. The other thing that I think we need to significantly talk about when it comes to this is if you have taken Chemistry 110 at Blackhawk College before, you will likely be completing some of the same labs. I like to do some of the same labs within the semester. You'll notice that they might be the same. However, you cannot turn in old work from a previous semester and call it your work from this semester. That is academic dishonesty. Yes, I know it's your work. Yes, I know you did it yourself. However, it's not allowed for you to turn in work from previous semesters. All of us instructors have ways of telling whether something is from this semester or not. We kind of hide little Easter eggs for ourselves to find. So I'm going to notice if you turn in work from another semester. I had it happen last semester. I'm expecting to not find anything this semester. So please, I'm begging you, do your own work and don't turn in work from previous semesters. I would really, really appreciate that. Thank you. So at the end of the syllabus here and in that course information module, you can also find lots of information about the college's policies, things you can do for help like financial aid, going to the library. There's some Veteran Resources Center, some Title IX information. I don't know. Check it out. I'm not going to read it to you. See what's there. So there is that for you. So I hope that served as a good introduction to the course here. I look forward to meeting you next week in person on Friday. And please just watch out for all of my announcements and updates until we get to that point. I will make sure that I give you an announcement when I have any assignments posted for you to do, and I will make sure that I always keep you updated, and I'll let you know when I update that front page to match this week's information as well. So see you soon. Look forward to a good semester.